Welcome to the Tiffany Mika podcast. What we do here is build the strength and courage in you to accomplish your big dreams and goals in your sport. No longer will you feel limited. You won't feel you're not good enough. You won't question whether you will make it. Those doubts will disappear because you will have the competitive edge over your opponents and leave them in your wake. And the bonus is others will notice. Listen up and take notes because I will show you exactly how to do it. Hey there, Tiff here, and welcome to the Tiffany Mika podcast. What we're going to be doing here is we are going to be looking at how we can gain the mental edge. This is actually what I'm going to take you on. I've had a bit of a change of plan on the direction in which I'm going to take you for the time being. And the reason for that is because I've produced all these great videos for the Get Focused Academy. And the Get Focused Academy I'm no longer going to run. So, but I thought that because I'm changing the direction in which I'm going to head with this. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to share with you all of these, the videos that I created for that. So you'll hear it in audio content, but also I will put the videos up on YouTube as well so you can see them because I do take you through step by step how to do certain things. So this is what we're going to be working through with regards to gaining the mental edge, in helping you to create the type of athlete that you want to become. I do have another podcast show that I call the Reach Your Potential with Tiff, and what I'm going to do there is I'm going to take you through a different journey there, which I was thinking about taking you through it with this one, but I've decided not to. I don't think that this is the path that I want to go down with this particular podcast show. So I'm going to do the other one through the Reach Your Potential with Tiff. So that one's going to be more about life orientation, personal development, all of that kind of thing, which I think it's really important to be on that one as well. So that one's going to be different to what I'm doing here. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through the first lesson. And the first lesson will be we're going to be looking at life categories and actually how to do it. You'll see if you actually go to the video content as well, which will be on YouTube, but will also be on my website, so it'll be attached to this audio as well, is that you'll actually go through the process of identifying what's going on in your life, what's going on in where you want to head as well, especially because we've had such a challenge this year. The coronavirus has really thrown a spanner into the works. Our lives have been operating very differently. So I think it's really important that we just tune back in, refocus on where we want to head, and also in life, not just sport. And I just found that the videos that I produced for this Get Focused Academy was quite appropriate. So I'm going to take you through these lessons of these. Okay, so sit back, enjoy, as so to speak. But if you're training, keep training. But I do suggest that you go to also these videos that will be on my website also, so that you can actually see, I take you through a process of that also. Anyway, dream big, believe in you, go after your dreams. Here we go. Hey there, Tiff here. What we're going to be doing in this video is we're going to be working on life categories for our baseline reality check. So we want to get a good, clear understanding where we are in our life, because we have our sport, and I know that that's what we want to accomplish. We've got these big sports dreams, but we also need to be looking at what we want to accomplish in our life, because we are human beings after all. So I want you to make sure that you go through this section. Do not discard this section at all. I want you to go through each video that you actually see in the Get Focused Academy. Go through each and every one, because it's all designed to help you become the athlete that you want to become, the person that you want to become, and achieve those big dreams, those big goals in your life. Okay, so make sure that you follow this video, is following the life category section for baseline reality check. Make sure you go through that, make sure you go through the worksheets, okay? Go for it. Hey there, Tiff here. Well, what I want you to do now is I want you to go through the baseline reality check of your life categories. And the reason that I want you to do that is because you're a person, right? You're a human being. It's not just about your sport, even though that you live and you breathe your sport. We also need to actually look at our life categories as well. We want to get a baseline reality check of where we're at with that. Now, it doesn't mean that when we go through this, after you've especially gone through your sports category baseline reality check, doesn't mean that then, oh my God, you've got to do everything out of the life categories as well. All I want you to do is get clear on where you're at with regards to what's going on in your life as a person, as a human being. And then obviously we're looking at the focus obviously is sport. And we've looked at the baseline reality check of what your sports categories are and where you're at with regards to that. But I want you to get real about who you are as a person as well, because who you are as a person is going to dictate who you become as an athlete. Okay, so we just need to make sure that we're looking at that as well. And very, very similar sort of worksheet and so on that we're going to be working through, but the life categories obviously are a little bit different from sport categories. So I'm going to show you what these are, what we're going to be working through, and then you can get to it. Okay, so don't neglect this. This is just as important as your sport categories. This is why I've put this second. I was initially going to put this at first, but I thought, you know what, you're here for sport. So let's go through the sport categories first. Now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to go through the life categories because it's important as a person that you're looking at these and to see where you are with regards to these also. So why the baseline reality check? Well, that's our starting point, isn't it? So we want to identify with where we're at in not only in our sport, now we want to identify where we are in our life. So what we're doing here is we're crafting a system for moving forward and going after your goals. That's what we're doing, aren't we? We're going after your big dreams. It's very exciting. So here are our life categories that we're going to be looking at. Health. Now this can also, some of these categories that we're going to be looking at can also intermix with your sport categories. So that's fine. You can, everything with regards to your health, you can actually put in from a nutrition point of view, you can actually put in to this category as well. Okay, so it's okay that some of them are going to cross over. It's not a problem. Emotional health. So that's around your emotional control as well, isn't it? So we want to be looking at where you are emotionally. Are you in control of your emotions? Are you happy? If you're angry and upset all the time, we've got to be looking at why that's going on. Mental health. So again, so you can see how these are corresponding with some of what's going on with the sports categories, like the mental skills and the mental focus. We're looking at the mental health. Are you happy within? Because the big thing is you want to make sure that you're happy within. You want to be happy in your own skin. And I understand that more than anyone, because I know, like, when I was a young athlete pursuing my tennis dream, I was very unhappy within. I was very uncomfortable in my own skin. I was uncomfortable with who I was. And I think it's really important that as we're developing into the adult and the person that we want to become and the athlete that we want to become, we've got to make sure we're comfortable in our own skin. It took me a long time to get to that place. And I was like late 30s by the time I got comfortable in my own skin. I wish I was more comfortable in my own skin when I was 16. So I want you to make sure that you are happy within. If you're not in a happy place within, then we've got to figure out how we're going to get you there, okay? Family, what's your relationships like with your family? Where are you currently at with regards to all your family? looking at, you may not have a partner, that's fine. You don't have to have a partner. Having a partner in your life is not the be all or end all. Do you have friends in your life as well? We want to be looking at that category as well. Lifestyle, the type of lifestyle that you're currently leading, and also the type of lifestyle that you want to lead. So especially that car in there, that's my favorite car. That's what I want. That's why I just threw it in there. But you could be traveling the world and doing and seeing what you want to see, and you want to have adventure. You want to, you got to enjoy your life as well. And that's the big point. You've been given a life. What are you going to do with it? Yes, you want to be the athlete you want to become, but what kind of lifestyle do you want to create as well? Okay. Energy. You're going to need energy to do all these things that you want to do. Again, a lot of it's going to be around fueling your body with the right food, but also taking care of your energy levels, especially if you're a woman, a young woman, more so than a man or a young man. Our energy levels are different. Our hormones are different. Okay, and we have moments of, especially like around period time, we tend to be more flat and have less energy, and we struggle more versus when we don't have our period. So I want you to be aware of what goes on with your energy levels as well, and then ways in which you can work around that. Finances, where are you at with regards to your finances now and what you want to create in the future, because we're going to be looking at that. Finances, you want to have money because it's going to fuel your dream. So we're going to be looking at how that's going to happen. Growth, incredibly important. You know how before I was talking about being comfortable in your own skin, being comfortable with who you are, right? That's all about personal development. That's all about growing you into not only into the athlete that you want to become, but also the person that you want to become. Incredibly important we look at that. Self-care, looking after yourself. Sometimes it's good to unplug. Sometimes it's good to go out and enjoy your life. It's good to have fun. It's good to breathe. It's good to stop. It's good to relax. It's good to not do anything. It's good to have a complete break from your sport. Some people think that you got to grind it out 7 days a week all the time. I'll guarantee you that you can't do that. You physically and mentally can't just maintain that level. I've got a friend who's a baseballer, and he's on track to be, to go to the majors, and he trains like that. He's trained so hard, mentally and physically, that he's stuffed up his back. So he's got a big back injury that's taken him out of the sport for probably 12 months, and he's mentally exhausted because he thinks that he's got to just keep working hard and keep grinding it out, doing it 7 days a week. Well, everything that he's done hasn't helped him. It's held him back. And this isn't the first injury that's held him back. This is the big injury that's holding him back right now. But it's not the first one. It's been a series of injuries that's led to this one, right? So you've got to make sure that you're looking after yourself mentally, emotionally, physically, nutritionally. Be kind to yourself. So important. And again, when you go through this, once you've gone through the baseline reality check in the life categories, which we'll go through the worksheet very shortly, you want to share it in the WhatsApp group, what you've identified. Ask questions if you need it. Oops, I made a bit of an error here with the numbers. Sorry about that. But you also want to then have a folder dedicated to the Get Focused Academy, which I've said, which you should have set up by now. And then everything that you've worked on in this worksheet, make sure you print it up and you put it into the folder. Why? I hear you saying, Tiff, because I can access it a lot quicker. Exactly. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get into the worksheet. Here we are at the baseline reality check for the worksheet. So the purpose of the baseline reality check is designed for you to obtain a clear understanding of your current circumstances. With this understanding, it will help you craft a system for moving forward and going after your goals. So the life categories we just went through, so the health, emotional health, mental health, family, partner, friends, lifestyle, energy, finances, which I call your treasure, growth, which is learning and developing you, and self-care, looking after you. Okay, so what I want you to do here is I want you to go through each category, and I want you to look at each category in your life in what you would rate it as: 1 being terrible, 5 being great, with each category: health, emotional health, mental health, family, friends, partner, lifestyle, energy, finances, growth, self-care. So I've put partner and friends in the same category simply because you may not have a partner in your life. You've got friends in your life though. So they're just as important, and we want to see where you are with regards to a relationship with friends as well. Okay. So what we want to do here is then we move on to step 2. So this one's going to be a bit easier than the sport one. The sport one was way more in detail, especially when we looked at the technical skills. What we're doing here now is we're looking at the reasons why you've rated your health at 3, or why you've rated your lifestyle at 1, or why you've rated your finances at 1. Okay. So what we want to do in step 2 is we want to write down all the reasons why in each section of why you gave each category that rating. Okay, again, it's just what we're doing here is we're just making you aware. Okay, then what we do here is then we go into step 3. Once we've done that, what's missing? So then you want to write out here in this section is, well, what's missing in your life around the health? What's missing in your life around emotional health? What's missing in your life around mental health? What's missing in your life around family? What's missing in your life with friends or partner? What's missing in your life from lifestyle? What's missing in your life from energy? What's missing in your life from finances? What's missing in your life from growth? What's missing in your life from self-care? See how we're getting more and more clear of what's going on. So important. Step 4, so what we want to do here is everything that we've actually identified of what's missing, because now we're becoming more clear. What we want to do now is identify what we want to be true by the end of the quarter and the end of the year. So you want to be looking at, well, what is it that I want to be true by the end of the quarter? What is it that I want to be true by the end of the year? With each category. I don't want you to be freaking out here and thinking, oh my God, I've got to do all of this stuff. Oh, I just want to make you aware, because some of the things that you work on, you might be able to work on now. Some of the things you might be able to work on next quarter, the quarter after. You don't have to do everything all at once. Okay, it's just making you aware of where you're at in your life. So then identified what we want to be true, then we move into the life category action steps. So we want to look at, well, what are all the action steps that need to be taken in order for us to accomplish what we want to accomplish in our life. Take the sports side out of it. We're looking at the other part of our life, of how we operate and what we want in our life outside of sport. Okay, 2 separate things. So then you can be looking at that. And remember, I said some of the stuff too, some of the categories are going to cross over, and that's fine too. That's not a problem. But write out all the action steps. Because you've identified what you want to be true by the end of the quarter and the end of the year. What is it now that you want? Well, what action steps do we need to have in place for that to happen? Again, all you're doing is brainstorming. Then we break it down. Once you've identified in this area in step 5, all the action steps, then you can break it down and put it into what action steps need to be taken by the end of the quarter. And then also when we move into then step 7 is all the action steps that need to be taken by the end of the year. So you can see how we can break it down and make it more simple. Now you might find that some of the action steps that you want to have completed by the end of the quarter may not be able to get completed by the end of the quarter. They may roll over into the next quarter. The same thing could happen in your sport, and that is all okay. I want you to always think we're always a work in progress. because it's, you might hear it's not about the destination, it's the journey. And you know what? The destination is awesome when you get there, but you learn so much about you. You learn so much about what and how things operate through the journey, so that when you get to the destination, you have all these skills in place. And that takes you then to the next destination that you're on to. So if you thought about it with regards to your sport, if you're at a place where you're not quite where you want to be, obviously you want to be a professional athlete, right? But you may not be anywhere near that yet. But the first destination is get to competing at state level. And there's all these specific skills that you learn along the way. You get to state level, then there's some new skills and new development that has to happen for you to get to national level. Then there's new skills and new development that you have to work through in order to get to professional level. Right? So it's learning all these skills along the way that's going to help you become the athlete you want to become, the person you want to become. Okay? So it's making you more aware. So that's what we're doing here. We're making you more aware of what you need to be working on so that you can become the person you want to become and the athlete that you want to become. I know I say it a lot, but this is really what we've got to be working on. So then what you want to do then is look at the action steps as well for the end of the year and what you want to be true for that as also. Okay? And like I said, it doesn't matter if you don't get through all of these. It's just making you more aware. Finances will always be a big area, especially if you feel like, and you're at the beginning of your career and you haven't got anything much. So we want to be looking at, well, how can you make your finances grow? What are the action steps that you could take? Maybe you need to get a part-time job. Maybe you could start something yourself. If you want money instantly, you're better off working for someone else. If you want to start your own thing, that takes longer to build. You just want to be aware of that. And that's not a bad thing, starting your own thing as well. You might be able to teach younger athletes the sport that you do. Run training camps and stuff like that and charge a fee to do that. That's a great thing to do because it teaches you more about the sport, it teaches you more about the skill, it teaches you how to teach someone else. The more you teach someone else, the more you get a better understanding of it. So the purpose of what we're doing here is we're looking at where you're at currently in your life. So we're looking at that baseline reality check in life categories. We're looking at that baseline reality check of also your sport, aren't we? So you got some work to do. You've been through you've seen both the worksheets. Now I want you to get to work and go through both, obviously the sport categories. Make sure you go through the life one. Do not neglect this one, because in order for you to become the athlete that you want to become, you want to also make sure that you become the person you want to become too. So dream big, believe in you, go after your dreams, and I look forward to hearing what you share. Would you like to be able to reach your potential? Great. This is what you need to do. You can get a free copy of my book, Focus, How to Reach Your Potential in Sport, Business and Life. All you need to do is go to tiffanymika.com/free book. Get a free copy of Focus, How to Reach Your Potential in Sport, Business and Life, and I look forward to seeing you there. Dream big, believe in you, go after your dreams.